in the gas station next door, you know?
That's the surprising, that was the topic for this evening.
Caterpillar fungus?
Caterpillar
Okay.
fungus.
Oh, knew it.
You picked it because I can't say that word, didn't you? I can't say it.
And my water doesn't have arsenic in it. Isn't that nice?
No,
Like the fact that we have to put that on there is like, oh, thanks. Oh, thanks for that.
Did anybody go outside today? It was a beautiful
I was
day.
outside a lot. It was really nice.
Huh?
It was very nice.
Yeah.
I know they did.
Outside. It's like, I go to Ingrid. I'm going outside. I'm going outside. I'm going outside.
Got up in the morning and I
I wish
was
we
tired.
were
I went back to bed on the porch on my yoga mat and slept until the sun started cooking me.
If anybody wants constant comment, I brought a couple bags.
I have some teas as well. Constant comment could be a theme for tonight. It's been a while since I've been here on a Thursday. I'm psyched to be here. I was listening to the one with Dee, where she was interested in the body part.
Yeah.
That was a funny one.
I was watching last week. Having two computers. Was last week the week Neil Clark was here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that feels like it was like 2 years
And
ago.
I
guess
heard
that
you
was
guys
last
say,
week.
there's nobody watching. I was watching on two different computers.
Well, somehow Jeff didn't pick that up. You were supposed to ask a question. Why didn't you ask
I
a
was
question?
trying. I couldn't find any way to do it.
There's a little comment. Oh, because you have to be logged. You probably weren't signed in. That's what sucks about that. You have to be
Signed
signed in
into,
to like Gmail or
Oh.
something in order to comment.
Because there was no comment.
You can't comment on YouTube unless you're like signed in through something.
Yeah,
No anonymous comments.
Yeah.
I don't want hecklers.
You know, computer buttons, so.
well, thanks for taking time out of your busy day to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, yeah. How about a group hug?
Yes.
Don't be wild.
Fuck that. Angel wash. Fuck that. Affection just leads to more sorrow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
The Debbie Downer song.
Hell, I'm in the right place.
I'm feeling better
Hell, I'm
already.
feeling really good.
Yeah. hmm The I stopped taking calls from my mom, Sangha.
The Russell's getting back on the phone.
Yeah,
Brother over here.
yeah.
He's got phone privileges again. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I didn't miss that.
I see.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well.
So they let him out of his therapeutic isolation, right?
He's on administrative something or other. I don't know what it is. It's a new one.
Administrative good behavior.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we need representatives in all places and walks of life.
I guess I should have pulled it. Here's one. Here's one. Do you have one?
Are you going away?
Yeah.
Are you going?
Lewisburg, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. We're in Pennsylvania, right? Lewisburg, Pennsylvania.
For work or for?
Family, it's a family event. So niece is graduating from college. Mhm. Yeah, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, that's what I did today.
Is it hard for like a 60-year-old guy to score a nickel bag from a college kid?
Not yet.
You'd be careful, right? Get in trouble.
Probably get some shitty weed.
Yeah,
Do it.
I know. Well, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
That's a quick topic.
Is it senility?
Yeah, that's right. It's senility.
Dementia?
Yeah. It's that. Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a feeling there's some more information coming about Byron Katie.
More information?
What happened with Maggie and Byron Katie?
Oh, you're going to get some insight into that?
Yep.
What happened?
Fuck, I love guru gossip.
One of the things that I picked up on that
Sorry. I think I'll reject this call.
must be your mother.
Probably the lottery.
Mother was calling to tell you she's leaving.
Yeah, she heard me.
She's leaving everything to you. Oh, you didn't answer. I guess I won't.
Really? What a bummer. Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
Big difference between the woman on stage versus the woman off stage.
Oh, that's so surprising.
Big difference.
I'm verklempt.
Byron Katie.
Yeah.
And just no openness really to work with more advanced people. I don't want to say advanced, but like she really likes beginners and
Uh-huh.
people that had been in the
She
process
can
for a long
dominate
time
them.
and like the culture that's created.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I just like something turned a switch and I was out. Something turned a switch. It was like, I'm done. I'm not doing it, like done.
Right,
The switch turned. I knew to not be there anymore.
right.
But some people didn't quite have that experience.
And have they been around as long as you?
The person it seems like she's going to be putting out some more information about this. She was saying she was going to, is somebody that was seriously in the inner circle.
What's her interest in putting out more, call it
I don't know.
insider?
I actually think it's probably to serve people that have been sort of part of that
Wounded.
machine.
Yeah, wounded by the machine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, of course. Wounded by the machine. So, yeah, that's right.
That's all this does.
So, yeah, what else can it do? Wounded by the machine. Hi, welcome to this planet. You'll be wounded by the machine.
Why?
Yeah, well, you can see it.
But, when the machine is under a spiritual guise, it's fodder for night sky discussion.
Oh, it is. Yeah, that's right.
There's
Once-
plenty of
Everything
the
is
machine
that.
under other guys.
So
but
no,
Yeah.
it's all the
It's
same.
definitely fodder for spiritual discussion.
Yes.
Hello.
Jamie.
Don't
So-
go without the air conditioner.
Oh,
So, that's it, or there's more?
there's more coming.
More coming.
Yep.
Well, you folks at home, you want to stay posted right here to learn the newest news about the inside shtick of Byron Katie.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more spiritual gossip.
Front page.
Wounded by the machine.
What's one of those popular magazines that does that?
Shambhala Sun.
No,
It's a
well,
Buddhist
the trashy ones in the
Inquirer?
grocery store.
Inquire.
Oh.
The National Enquirer.
National Enquirer.
Told you
Yeah.
how mine's going.
Front page of the National Enquirer.
Just another spiritual bit.
Byron Katie.
Yeah, I had exposure to somebody that had bad yoga cult kind of experience. That
Mm-hmm.
she kind of called the leader on something and got
Mm-hmm.
pretty much ostracized from the leader and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
This was a community she'd been in for a long time.
Oh, yeah,
She
right.
was like still reeling from it.
Yeah, sure. It hurts.
I personally never get close enough to anybody to actually get hurt to death.
Smart move.
Just like
That's
keep your
right.
distance.
To keep your distance, Sangha.
That's it.
Fuck off and keep your distance.
Wait a minute. Hugs today. We're doing hugs today.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
That's the new definition for compassion. Fuck off and keep your distance.
Do you remember this? Fuck you.
That's right.
Remember?
That's a nice one.
Remember?
I'd be so happy if everybody incorporated that into their daily
Incorporated
Monster.
fuck you into it?
fuck off
You remember?
and keep, like personal space. That's all.
You mean no mob scenes in the parking lot?
It's simple.
Affection for,
In order to attract people, right, ordinary
as opposed
spiritual
to
aspirants
lobsters.
into a thing, you have to create a thing. That's what, well, let's call it innate consciousness is attracted to. It's attracted to the appearance of a thing. Something that it can belong to, right? Align with, feel protected by, or to have one's identity massaged, even if it's the identity of seeking non-identity, right? Yeah. So when you've got that many people milling around, it's a thing. And it's a machine.
It's a big machine.
And so people are going to get wounded by the machine, by the thing, because the thing is unreal. Like one's own persona is unreal. One's own sense of individuated identity is unreal. It's a hypnotic suggestion. So when you create a big thing, it's unreal. It's a hypnotic suggestion. Now it may be full of, pay-as-you-go catharsis. And there's nothing wrong with pay-as-you-go catharsis. I mean, fuck, what else are we doing, If you're not getting your jollies at the bowling alley.
Or with caterpillar.
Or with caterpillar fungus as an aphrodisiac. then go do the work. I mean, or anything, And you're gonna end up, you're going to end up either being admiring of that thing, that machine, for as long as you can, or if you're lucky, the machine will wound you.
I was lucky.
Then you get
was
out.
Done. I was
That's
lucky. It came from inside of me. It was
That's
just
another
done.
way to go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. However you get thrown out of the machine,
Yeah.
Whether it's a lighthearted, I'm just done, or whether it's,
Yeah.
whoa, a great betrayal.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It wasn't even necessarily lighthearted. It was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore. There's this big gaping hole, but I just know I'm not doing this anymore.
That's right.
It's weird.
Well, the other thing that happens is, so on this trajectory called my demise, in the earlier stages, I get aligned with a thing that gives me some goodies, gives me some feedback, right? Helps me.
Yeah.
But typically what I'm bringing to the table is, let's just call it the shadows of the wounded self that's looking for some kind of amelioration or spiritual, goodies. So therefore you bring an old encrusted part of yourself to that interface and get what you get. So as you mature or unfold and no longer need to bring that inertia of self to the table, then the tool that you've used also becomes, right, no longer useful, because whoever you thought you were that got something from the tool is now graduated from that. So then you put the tool down. Yeah. Now maybe, so like if one comes to a thing like Byron Katie or whatever early, then you put the tool down because you've moved on. If you come to it later in your stage, then it might satisfy you in a different way, because the you that has shown up to engage with whatever it is now from a different, point of view. Mm-hmm. But if it turns out that, I mean, like Byron Katie is a machine. She's created a machine, and machines are great, and they can only go so far. I mean, what you want someone to discover, if you're let's say altruistically inclined rather than financially inclined, right? What you want someone to discover is their own autonomy. That's the gift, and it's not your gift to give, and so you're free. You don't end up in some kind of codependency, because the gift is your own autonomy, and it's no one else's gift to give it to you than your own your own discovery. So you're not dependent on anything or anyone. But you have to put down all machines for that to blossom. Because as long as you're machine dependent, your identity that brings you in relationship to the machine is a false one. And it has to go, or it's gonna go. You can't be dependent any longer on a machine. You know, any machine.
So would you suppose that perhaps, setting it up, maybe, there could come a time.
Comes a time when a blind man takes your hand.
The machines
Keep going.
become like,
Nano
The
machines.
machines are taking over.
they won't have any part of you. Like, it's like,
Well, yeah,
plug in.
Behavior.
that's
Even if
right.
you want to.
That's right. Yes, sure. Yeah, you're
Or
in
you think
a,
you want to.
well, that, you end up in a parallel universe as a solo artist.
Well, or just an idiot,
That-
who doesn't know what the fuck's going on,
That's the same.
Well,
They're the same. You end up in a solo parallel universe that's only inhabited by you.
because everything I think or try these days, it seems, it's just it just evaporates in front of me.
Yes, everything evaporates.
I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to let's say glimpse the immediacy, the intimacy of that evaporation.
But it is making me angry. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
sure. Why
I'm
not?
not happy about it.
Yeah, right.
But-
That's right.
Because you want meaning, right?
I don't know. I don't have, I get frustrated.
Yeah.
I seem to be unable to make a choice because everything seems to be, I don't know what's really going on. Everything seems to just be a dead end. I can't go anywhere. Like, fuck. Mm.
You're just left with yourself, no escape.
Well, I actually do feel as though I'm being revealed, let's say the whatever is still there is coming up and protesting, so that's good, I guess.
Yeah.
You're
being picketed.
Yeah, maybe. So,
Yes. All is evaporating. You can't put your finger on anything except through the fallibility of imagination. That's the nature of present experience.
I become like keenly aware
Mm-hmm.
of the I don't know, the self, let's say the self wants this, wants that. What
Yeah.
the fuck, god damn it, shit. You
Just to
know?
name a few, yeah.
Like nothing is
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
that's the new me.
Sure. Well, it's, I mean, of course, it's kind of a rough, road when you're confronted with, this curious juxtaposition between everything evaporating and still, let's say, trying to put down stakes. Yeah, I mean, that is obviously going to be frustrating. You could say most of our ordinary mind is not recognizing, is not seeing intimately the evaporative nature of consciousness and what appears in consciousness. Ordinary mind has got a good thing going. Even if you're pissed off, even if you're angry, even if you're upset, you've got a story, you've got a scenario, you've got an event, you've got a future, you've got a past.
Indignation.
Yeah, indignation. Yeah, you've got something to work with. And so you're not really seeing the dangerous side of your own consciousness, which is the evaporative nature of present experience. You're not seeing it. So you're glad to have things to be happy about or angry about or plans or whatever, because that satisfies one's sense of, I'm durable.
Just give me something.
Yeah, I'm durable. I got something, I can exercise magical powers like choice and preference, appointments. I can exercise magical powers. Fuck you. I got this. And so what you're not seeing is that, right here, like right now, not that there is a right here and right now, because there really isn't a right here and right now. There's just this streaming ephemera that is evaporative and refreshing at the same moment, refreshing evaporation. It doesn't go away, but the past is imagination, the future is imagination. So you think, well, at least I have the present. Well, I'm sorry, no, you don't. You don't have the present. You can't actually be present. It's kind of like not possible to be here now, because there is no such thing. When we think of be here now, it seems like it's kind of a static destination. Oh, here now. Gone. Here now. Sorry. There is no here now. So there's no way to be here now. I mean, it was kind of a fun book when it came out, and the LSD and the drawings and stuff were cool, but Ram Dass is a fucking idiot. He's a senior citizen, I guess, deserving of our affection and respect. And he's a fucking idiot. Yeah. I mean, spiritually speaking, he's,
He's a fucking idiot?
he's a fucking idiot.
Oh, well,
He's a goober.
I'm kind of glad to hear that.
He's a goober loser. And yet he's beloved by many, and that's wonderful. Good for him. It's another machine, right? Ram Dass is a machine. Yeah. It's of course.
He had a great face.
Oh yeah. Sure. It's a machine. Neem Karoli Baba's a machine. The way that he's worshipped by those that worship him, and the way that they worship him in his ashrams and the books and the bandaras and all that stuff, and la da da da. And of course, I have no quarrel with Neem Karoli Baba. He'll kick me from here till kingdom come. But it's a machine. It's an idea. This dependency, a dependency on a Sadguru, dependency on Brahman, dependency on an avatar, dependency on whomever is what? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's a machine. It's bound to disappoint you. You're not going to be happy being dependent, even on the highest. If you're dependent on the highest, you're not going to be happy because you're the highest. The highest can fuck off because you're the highest. If you're dependent on something that you think is higher or better or more advanced than you, you're a beggar. You're an idiot. Which is fine.
This is a beggar's banquet.
It's beggar's banquet. That's the thing. We fracture inside so quickly, so surreptitiously, that we create the imagination of some authority greater than me. Authority over what? Exactly. Spiritual authority? Nirvikalpa Samadhi authority? JYN authority? Great happiness? What? Fuck that.
Most people are looking for mommy and daddy.
Well, there you go. I mean, you
we're
do
all a
see
bunch of immature large
We are.
babies
Just
running
save
around
me,
looking for mommy
it's
and
a
daddies.
king baby cult.
I know.
Yes.
King
So
baby
true.
cult trying once again to Oedipally consummate with the parental figure of your choice. Yeah. Good luck. So this turns out to be about nothing. Or if it is about something, then you've made that up. If it's about something, you've made that up.
And wouldn't that also apply to the some things that I get frustrated about not
Yeah.
being able to pursue?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So it's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That, the urgency for exercising vital powers of self.
God damn it.
Why not? You want to exercise the vital powers of self. And so that means you want to demonstrate, manifest, express, figure something out, get a thing, win in one way or another.
Well,
And
not
that becomes
just
frustrated.
that, because you normally don't want to just do that if it's just you, that's not going to work. You want it to be validated. Like you have to show someone else and get some kind of recognition back.
Yep.
Otherwise,
Yep. Yep. Yes, and that goes back to that same, dependency issue. You're dependent on validation or vetting or justification in the eyes of others, whether it's a parental figure or, a spouse.
lawyer or anybody.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I play by the rules.
Okay.
I don't want the heat of not fitting in.
Fine.
There's some kudos and
Yeah,
stuff you get from playing the game.
that's right.
Well, I learned that with that, you said wear a dog leash.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
wow.
how'd that go?
I only did it at home,
Okay.
but it was enough.
Yeah, I bet.
It was like,
So
wow.
what's this story?
That's what probably got me into this terrible state I'm in
Good.
now.
There you go.
Don't
Dog
ever
leash.
wear the dog leash. Don't go there. Jamie, you don't even want to hear.
You have to go to the next, you have
All
to,
you're doing is playing games with yourself about everything all day. So it's like
Yeah.
if you make up a game that
told
seems
him-
very different than your
Have
normal
spikes
game.
inside.
that's right.
Had Snickers, all her little things hanging on from a dog I had. What do you call them, license? But what it told me is I am not free, and that's a fucking big lie that I think I'm free. I'm not free.
Okay. Dog
But
leash,
would I go
dog
out
leash
in public?
success.
Would I go out in public with that dog leash? No.
Right.
And why
Right.
not?
Right.
Bullshit.
Right.
It's all bullshit.
That's right. Yeah. Right. Uh-huh.
I should be going out and not, and it's fine. People can look and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not free.
That's cool.
I
Yeah. Cares.
It's nice to know what you're not.
I wouldn't mind not being free as much as the fact that I thought I was.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you may very well be. You just,
well, yeah.
you just got something else on the
Back and
fire.
forth and back and forth.
Who knows?
Well, I always thought I was a decider, but, I think I just set things up and just do whatever comes naturally, It's
Mhm.
like, I'm not deciding anything. No decisions, I just sort of do. I may obsess on it, but there's no real decisions.
Yeah, the mental obsession is kind of superfluous. You do what you do.
But I'm heavy into that. It just won't, go.
What about no thoughts? No thoughts.
Those thoughts. Well, if I'm going to sleep,
Okay.
but I don't do it 24 hours a day.
Okay.
From a yogic perspective, you are, one is quite a radioactive bundle of energy. You're really quite radioactive. And we need to learn how to enjoy your own innate radioactivity.
Mhm.
That's what's going on. You're radioactive. You are just on fire. And this fire will manifest as, right? Right? Activity, the activization of fantasy. The activization of fantasy is because you're radioactive. So rest in your radioactivity.
Rather than try to direct it in some way.
That's right, without becoming a pawn to imagination. Here we are, resting in radioactivity, which is, you can't escape, you can't shake it. Mindfulness bell, it's very insistent.
Well, as an analogy, sort of an analogy, for some reason I always like to talk about going to sleep and stuff like that. But, in those
That's how I
times,
used to get girls.
Hey, you want to go to sleep?
Huh?
Oh,
It
yeah.
works really well with
Really?
old girls.
Works
Yeah, really.
Older girls.
Yeah, really, an older girl,
Something
yeah.
you can sleep anytime.
Yeah, yeah. Nap? Fantastic.
Or me. Want to take a nap? Okay.
But, you know, when the head's like, all of a sudden, it's like, uh-oh, I started to like, you know, put energy behind this illusion of all these different things that
Yes.
are going on. And it's like, shit, now I screwed up, you know, because as soon as you put the energy there, that energy's out there. And it's, I find it difficult to retract from that or to apply it in any other way. And so I end up getting less sleep. And
Well, it has its own momentum.
yeah, it does.
Yeah. Right. The reflex of one's radioactivity is to conjure.
And like we've been kind of trained to try to stay in a little box. Like I should get a certain amount of sleep so I feel well, so I can do my job tomorrow, so
Yep.
I can be productive.
Yeah. You should put on your dog leash and go out to the all-night diner.
I'll tell you
I'll
what,
see
you'll
how it
definitely
works. I'll
learn
see how it
something.
works for everybody else for
Guaranteed you'll learn something. I don't,
if I wear a dog leash.
oh, yeah,
That's-
oh, you will. Mhm.
Well, I'm sure I'll learn something. Is it worth learning?
I think it probably is. I do. I didn't go out in public, so I have no room to talk, but I suspect it would be worth it.
All I'd have to do is wear it around the house. That would be enough.
It is, actually. I think so.
Yep. Well, you know, we fancy ourselves being, you know, kind of clever. Like we've made it through our adult life this far, pretty much fooling everyone. Har har. And then when you're challenged, let's say, with a little, you know, exercise, that calls the facade, your patina into question, you can get really irritable and worked up. You know, you can see what a poser you are
Yeah.
when the momentum, the comfort field of your psychic and behavioral momentum is challenged somehow, even in a playful way. You know, not necessarily in an insulting way. In a playful way, you're like, whoa. See what, you know, rises up to protect your dignity. Why not? It doesn't suggest that you're free or not free, or it doesn't really suggest anything. It's just, you know,
It's like stimulus response.
yeah, it's an
Well,
adventure.
poser's a good word.
Yeah, poser turns out to be a pretty good
Yeah.
word.
I always find it whatever.
Oh,
When I realize I'm something I didn't think I was.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, you're nothing at all.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
And so you can, by virtue of being nothing at all, you can wear any mask
Mm.
you want to.
It doesn't matter, so you just pay no attention to it. It's weird.
yeah.
You're in like full expression, but not really paying any attention to it. In a weird way.
There it goes again.
You know, the yogic process, regardless of the culture, is you bring all this expressive energy to a close, or you start to draw inwardly, right? So this means instead of acting out or acting in or creating big stories or getting on stage or whatever it is, you're starting to attend to the geometry, the dynamics, the energy, the felt sense of consciousness, presence. That's right. So the yogic gesture is bring it in, reel it in, reel it in, reel it in. Then you will notice, like someone beginning a course in mindfulness, let's say, just how restless and crazy and erratic and erotic and avoidant and how much denial is present in your so-called default consciousness, which you'll never notice unless you actually take a cushion, let's say. And so few people will even take to a cushion as, again, a playful experiment, because they don't want to notice. They don't want to see what they're made of. They want to continue dwelling in the ruse of self-determinism, skillful self-determinism, miserable or otherwise. So when you start to reel in your radioactive nature, you start to see what a fraud you are, what a poser you are, how you are appearing so impulsively, and how there's not nearly as much room for choice and self-determinism as you once thought you had or were made of. And then you continue. Well, then you continue to notice and be somehow nourished by your own radioactivity. And now that is, if you're trying to negotiate with your own radioactivity as a creature functioning in the world, you're going to hit all kinds of crises, all kinds of walls, all kinds of dead ends, all kinds of wounds and betrayals by the machine. Yeah. And that's cool too. I mean, why not several decades of that, several lifetimes of that? Big fuck, who cares? But we're just looking at the process of withdrawing from the ruse of the world. You start to settle into your own radioactivity, you're still going to be, the vestigial impulses of acting out and acquiring and aversion and attraction. They run pretty deep. It's a good. They're in a good groove. It's not so easy to just say, I'm done with attraction and aversion. Yeah, good luck. Right. You're already too late just by making the statement. Oh, you're too late. You've already lost. So you start to bake. And this radioactivity is, I dare say, intolerable.
You bake when every road, like you said, is a dead end. That's when you start to bake. When you start to get that every road is a dead end and you want to run and
Yeah.
they're all dead end roads.
Yeah. Yeah. Your radioactivity is intolerable to you. And that's why we spin yarns and diffuse and distract and act out and act in and tell stories and create grandiosity where there is nothing, where there is none. So you're reorienting, again, in a shamanic or yogic or a transmutative way, how to relate to your own profound radioactivity. And learn through life and exercises like this one, how to tolerate your own radioactivity, to how to rest in your own radioactivity without having to conjure anything, close anything, correct anything, figure anything out, be clever or wise or compassionate even. That's for Buddhists. Buddhists are idiots. And there's a lot of them. Yeah. This is the fact. What's the fact? The fact is the presence of your own radioactivity. That's the fact. Everything else is imagined by you. You're the one that's drawing the, connecting the dots in presuming that there's a world in which you are inhabiting it as a disparate creature. This is all imagined. It's a ruse. The only thing that's so is this radioactivity, this profundity, which is not nothing, but it's nothing.
It seems to get so real and so important.
On a dime, on a nickel, on a paisa.
Screwed up. I can't tell.
Yeah. So see, what's happening is that you could say the somatic flavor and the emotive and psychological flavors are in a, right? Yeah. They're on a ride. It's a joyride. They're on a joyride. In other words, you've created a context in which you're appearing as someone suffering from attraction and aversion, from future and consequence. or shame or regret, which is why we like to go out and eat, because shame and regret's good to, mitigate with food.
Especially when all they're serving is like pizza and Dairy Queen.
High fat, high calorie. Yum.
And ice
I
cream.
know.
So
Like chili
offerings
dogs
and-
and ice
Oh,
cream.
yeah.
Just a great for my friends.
Oh, God.
Careful, if you eat one, she's going to want a foot massage. I mean, it's really curiously, strangely simple. You don't need the Course in Miracles to appreciate this. You don't need the Course in Love to appreciate this. You don't need nothing to appreciate the radioactivity of your own presence. And you don't need to dilute it by telling some fucking story about some channeled shit that apparently Jesus told some Jewish gal who was a frustrated therapist. And now we got another fucking machine, right? And a bunch of machine operators.
Yeah.
Course in Miracles, Course in Love is a machine and a bunch of machine operators. And what are you going to find there? You're just going to find the imagination of who you take yourself to be in relationship to the imagination of whatever the fuck that thing is. Believe me, Jesus had nothing to do with the Course in Miracles. He could give a fuck. And if he did have something to do with it, it would be really, really, really thin. And he would say, "You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. You guys are all fucking idiots.
You guys are all fucking idiots.
Quote at some point.
Chill out."
So
It
stupid.
wouldn't be this thick. It would be really
Yeah.
simple and street
Yeah.
vernacular.
Chill out, eat some actual food, and
Chill out. That's right. And by the way, the lamb curry's on special.
Wasn't it supposed?
Let's go down to Habib's and get the lamb curry.
Wasn't Course in Miracles supposed to be a correction? Like, okay, you misunderstood the original message. Here it is again. Let me try.
Well, a miracle is a shift in perception, like
Yeah.
a correction to your perception. But I don't believe. Really?
I thought that it was more or less Jesus saying,
Sorry about that Bible thing. Really sorry about that Bible thing. Let me set this shit straight.
"Some shits, you missed it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we're gonna miss it again.
There's actually a book, Neil Donald Walsh, who did the Conversations with God.
Yeah.
What was God saying, whatever, and basically what God said is, "You got it all wrong." And somebody asked me, if you can summarize all those volumes of
that's all they
of
do
the
is make books
Conversations
telling
with
us that
God,
we've got it all wrong.
How
We're
would you-
sinners. We
God
suck.
got it all wrong.
We got it all wrong.
Get used to
Well,
it.
now I don't have to read the book.
Thank goodness. When you see again from this, I'm going to, refer to it again as a yogic perspective. When you see the geometry and the engine of consciousness and how all the content is vaporware. All the content is vaporware. All of the content is vaporware. There's nothing to get.
But you can't really see that when you're part of the content. I mean, if you see yourself as part of the content.
When you're
that's
living,
perspective.
when you're living with pride of self,
Yeah, it depends because you can.
then everything is about everything, or at least about you.
But if it's not really about, like, you can see yourself shifting in and out of either, it doesn't matter. You're like, whatever. I can have a lot of opinions and see that they're all bullshit at the same time.
Well, sure, that's right. Yeah, we're not aiming for some kind of exalted behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, be your curmudgeonly self. Wear your dog collar at home or in public. It's
Okay.
cool.
I feel that I should wear it in public so that I'm not like a hypocrite, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, like I said, you can wear it. You can wear it
It
under.
could be a fashion. I could start something.
We could start a fashion thing.
Wait, does the dog collar have a leash?
No, and it's kind of a big collar and it has all her little tags, stickers tags on. It's actually I thought it looked pretty good on me. If Raquel Welch can wear these chokers around her neck, I wear.
Well, Raquel Welch could wear just about anything.
No, I mean
Nothing at
now, I mean
Yeah,
now.
nothing at all,
Now we
preferably.
use-
We're having a Raquel Welch break.
Oh boy.
Yes, that's right.
Jamie is fantasizing currently.
What?
He wants to go to sleep.
Dating yourself, pal.
Would you like to go to sleep naked with me?
Are we back to sleep again?
This time it's
Back
naked
around.
with Raquel Welch. It's different.
Yeah, please.
There are always exceptions.
What keeps the myth of identity going is interest in the identity. So every one of these things that you can buy and purchase and get enrolled in, whether it's Buddhism or Hinduism or yoga or Byron Katie or the Course in Miracles or the Course in Love, is just a celebration of the myth of your identity. I mean, the Course is cool when you see it goes right to the bottom line. It does. It goes right to the bottom line. But we just ignore that and then run amok through the lessons and how they apply to me. You're like, wait, no. You're fucking zero, dude. Your happiness is the revelation of zero. Like, oh, that's really cool. Well, now let's do some lessons. Right? That's what we're doing all the time. This is nothing, which is not nothing. It's radioactive for sure. It's absolutely beyond our wildest imagination. And it's right here at hand. You know, done. That's that. And it is strange, of course, to rest in your own radioactivity without avoidance, denial, deferral, acting in, acting out, putting on a show for yourself, right?
Fear.
Fear, everything. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Celebrating yourself, condemning yourself, somewhere on that continuum, right? You're like, no, I don't think so. No condemnation, no celebration, no plans, nothing to resolve. And as you hang out in the flavor of this, being as it is, you can't easily reanimate the myth of self, or by getting a palpable break from the myth of self, you might discover kind of let's say, a different slice of reality. Not that there is reality, because how could there be? Reality would mean there's a machine. This is not a machine. It may look mechanistic in its, expression, in its 3, 4, or 5th or nth dimensional expression. But as you really sink into the ephemeral nature of your own radioactivity, it's not a machine. And the habit or the reflex of the neocortex to suggest identity and run with it doesn't need to be predominant.
It seems like everything that we're talking about as far as the machine or the world or whatever has to do with this neocortex type of thing. It's like all this radioactivity. That's all just like, it seems to me, stuff. And stuff, by stuff, I mean like vibes and
Yes,
energies and all that
Yes.
jazz that's happening
right.
within the brain. You know, it's
Well, be careful.
mind function.
Be careful with that. I mean, I'm not insisting that it's untrue or true, but go back to the vibe. The vibe is clear. There's no confusion with the vibe. Oh. So that's where you rest, in the intimacy of the radioactivity. Once you conjure, what you think is responsible for the vibe, that's fantasy.
Sure.
Or to think that vibration is the consequence of being corporeal, having a body or a mind.
Well, I'm thinking in terms of the vibe being more of a deficit, sweeping away all the other stuff.
Yes.
This stuff is jazz that's going on, and this is more of a sinking into it without.
Yes, that's right. The signature of your radioactivity is unperturbed by noise. Yeah, that's right. That's the simple discovery. Oh, this is radioactive? That's odd. It's not saying a thing. And feeling it, oh yeah, this is pretty radioactive. Oh, well, fuck me, it's not saying a thing. If that's not a testimonial for the revelation of not self, we may as well go shopping again and find some other evidence. Now, the curious, fun adventure that is present with this is that, you discover, whoa, the irrefutability of presence. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, this is actually present. It's not being drowned out by your plans or imagination or closure or anything that you got going on mentally or psychoactively. Like, whoa, fuck me, this is present. Oh, it's just, and you're not befuddled by some imaginary duality, or even have to get to the bottom of it from a causative point of view. This is complete. And everything that occurs in, call it, noticeable phenomena, is at the pleasure of this intimacy. So the intimacy, or our encounter, our relishing of the intimacy, is easily distracted by what we will call noise in the system, which is the myth of the continuity of self, dwelling in a frenzied way in an imaginary, virtual world of circumstances, events, consequences, and time.
And I think the higher the more intense the frenzy,
Yeah.
more chance that you won't notice presence.
That seems to be, yeah.
So if things get ratcheted up when, let's just say, truth is coming at you, and you're like, I gotta go do something.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Sure, it's very interesting to see. It might be impossible, just for fun, to notice the genesis of arising. Because by the time, and this is remarkably nanoed, there might not be any delay. If there's no delay, then you can't actually notice the genesis of arising because you're already arisen. So you think you can kind of hang out, like a cat and pray, I'm just going to sit here really quiet and I'm going to see when I arise. Not happening.
It could happen though, let's say spontaneously. You could get a taste of that just.
What you can get a taste
having not
of.
been looking for it.
Yes. What? Just for fun. I mean, these are just, philosophical, dials and, whistles. There's nothing here. But just for fun, what you can discover is the intimacy. You can discover this intimacy which has nothing to say. And you can hang out in this intimacy which has nothing to say. It's not beholding to any authority.
Which is, I think, in my mind, what non-dualism is. I think that's how it's hitting me.
Yeah. Well, non-dualism is an idea that.
So if there's no duality, then you're.
No. Reverse it. There's this intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Non-duality can fuck off.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Duality and non-duality become fetishized ideas used by Advaitists, Buddhists, and their like, all of whom should get on a rocket ship and get off my planet.
Make it so.
Make it so. Number one, load them up.
Mars will be visible to them.
Yeah, that's
No
right.
doubt.
You guys, why don't you get on that rocket ship and go be non-dual someplace else? You see, this intimacy
Go to Mars.
that says nothing. That's it, man. You can't even say it's true. And to refer to it as non-dual or anything like that is like, please don't call it, please don't say anything. Don't call it anything because then you've created a machine again. You're back in the machine. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to be betrayed by your own imagination. People push all these just terminology around, and the terminology is beautiful. Sanskrit's beautiful, and Pali is beautiful, and Hebrew is beautiful, and German in its own way is beautiful, right? It's a little too, but it has its moments. But they don't mean anything. They don't mean anything. Your presence, your capacity for intimacy, for sensation, for inhabiting the radioactivity of your own nature, of your own presence, is autonomous. It's completely autonomous. It's not dependent on anything. That's it. Everything else just is a million forms of neuroticism. It's a fun exercise. You can hear when you're thinking, right? When we're involved in thought, in identity, in rumination, in arising, and the metabolic output of arising. Who's talking? You're fucking talking, right? You're the one who's fucking talking. Who's talking? Well, you're talking. Probably not out loud, but you're the one who's talking, and curiously, you're the one who's listening to yourself talking about horseshit. No one else is talking. It's just fucking you talking, right? Yeah. So then just ask yourself, excuse me, the fuck is talking right now? And the answer is going to be, well, I am. I'm fucking talking. And then you can simply go, yep, that's right. Why don't you shut the fuck up? Oh, okay.
But doesn't it seem like there are two people? I mean, when you were talking and you're telling yourself something, You
And
hear
I'm
yourself
listening.
as a
Yeah.
different person.
You're thinking, talking, imagining, and doing the listening and replying
Yeah.
to what you're saying, and then repeating it or coming up with some other fucking idea, and then you reply to that. Yeah, that's
But I
right.
mean, it hits different parts.
It's
of your
fucking
brain. It's
crazy.
like, you're just this
Yeah.
totally disconnected, all this stuff
Mm-hmm.
in this compressed package.
Well, you don't. Again, you're not quite sure what it is. I respect all the conclusions and findings that you have, but don't have any.
Well, they're not conclusions.
Yeah.
They're just
Right.
grasping at straws.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, because we don't know what's occurring.
I just know that sometimes I'll have to actually say something.
Yeah.
So that I can hear it.
Sure.
And that'll further me.
Oh my God. Poetry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Why not? Why not?
But really, I'll say it, and when I hear it out loud, somehow, or especially if I'm explaining it to somebody,
Yes.
then all of a sudden, it sort of gets me past the point. So there's something that, even though it might be inside, I express it, and I hear it as something different.
Of course.
Seemingly.
Seemingly. So, the point I'd like to reiterate, not that it needs to be, this isn't saying anything. Instead of listening to yourself, which is a kind of a myopic, right, compulsivity, right? Being really fond of the shit that you're thinking, and then the shit that you think about what you're thinking, and then what you feel about the way you're thinking or what you're feeling is just a myopic enterprise. It's totally neurotic. And I'm not putting anyone down, hopefully, because I don't know anyone that seems not to do that. So it's cool that it's totally neurotic. And even Gary Weber, the fucking liar that he is, does it too. Mr. No Thoughts. I don't have any thoughts. Why don't you go out and get the pizza then?
I can.
Yeah. So this, again, the presence of thoughts or the absence of thoughts means nothing. It's like non-duality. Who gives a fuck? If there's something of value, and of course the value is up to you. Hopefully it's not up to anybody else. Is this saying anything? I don't hear it. Maybe you do. Maybe some psychics and mediums hear all kinds of shit. But who knows whether that's some other weird tweak of their own internal noise or whether they're hearing, the mighty Quinn actually saying something to them.
That's why it's so hard
This
to
is-
get, because it's so fucking quiet.
Radioactivity can be curiously quiet and curiously loud.
Because it's all saying something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, sure. I mean, the impressions that are pouring in, whether through the sense windows or other subtle, call it sensitivities that we have no words for, are all screaming. They're all vying for attention. They love, you could say everything loves to make an imprint on you because that gives it life.
Yeah, it's the only thing it does.
Yeah.
It's like the
That's right.
tree falling in the woods.
Yeah.
It's stimulating.
It's nice to find, you could say it's nice to find, call it a portal, where you can put yourself away. Just, wow. I don't have a word to say about this. It's not saying a damn thing. I don't have to compete with anyone, including myself or the imagination of myself, for attention, validation, security. But it's not a destination, right? It's just what's always so, which is a little different than a destination. What's always so is the miracle of this being absolutely silent with respect to its own nature, its own radioactive presence.
That silence is so different than this world, than normal consciousness. So different. It's almost like not of the same world.
Well, folks like Jesus, shit that he really said, apparently, be in this world, but not of this world. And that intimacy, the revelation of one's own radioactive intimacy, is that. Oh. Effortless erasure of self. Oh. No assignment. So the yoga is really quite simple. You travel on a curious arc, which looks like the imagination of your life. And you discover various tools to work with, to learn, to explore, to expand, to knock on wood, to find out what you're made of. And you encounter all kinds of machines, all kinds of theories, all kinds of theorems, all kinds of authorities posing as helpmates, all kinds of posers posing as posers that are enrolling you for your affection and your adulation and your interest and your money and your sex and whatever they can get from you, and they're not satisfied either.
It's a zoo out there.
It's a zoo out there. It's an absolute zoo. Wounded by the machine. Okay.
Just another motherfucker.
Yeah. Then as your arc, matures, maybe you get a little older, who knows, a little wiser,
A little more desperate.
a little desperate. Sure, they all count. They all work. You become somehow curiously available, not through any decision, choice, will, or vow that you could possibly make, but you somehow become curiously available to a depth of intimacy, a depth of silence, a depth of immediacy, which cannot be contrived. And through that gate, you see that the noise of yourself is contrived. And you withdraw your loyalty from the noise of yourself. And you figure out somehow how to rest in this. That's it.
Preferably with snacks and fun friends.
Snacks, friends, coffee, walks, swimming bears.
Swimming bear.
Is that your native name?
Swimming bear.
Jeff Swimming Bear.
My native name?
We're
Yeah.
gonna call him
Chief Swimming Bear.
Shukadev Goswami. Native name. Really?
What you're describing sounds like a belief, but it can't be a belief.
It won't work as a belief.
Then you have the machine again.
Yeah, that's right. It won't work as a belief. That's right.
But
Yeah.
for purposes of communication
Well, it's
comes
like
out sounding. like a
everything is
belief.
going to be, I mean, that's the nature of communication, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
subjective, objective, and all that jazz. How can you, that's the leap, I guess, That's where the leap
Yeah.
comes in.
Discovering the silence of yourself has nothing to do with belief. Nothing to do with superstition.
It's more the suspension there, right? What did you say?
Suspension or cessation.
Yeah.
That's why the Buddha perhaps used those two in tandem, nibbana and cessation. Right? Because the revelation of nibbana, nirvana, which is this intimacy, by contrast, is the cessation of the noise of self. Yeah. Yeah. You can see how one's identity, one's sense of individuation is fueled by noise, by association. And as you have, you could say, occasional or more frequent encounters with the conscious absence of yourself, with the intimacy with intimacy. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm not made of anything. This isn't made of anything. It doesn't start, it doesn't stop, it has no genesis.
I guess you pick another stupid questions.
It's all put on dog collars.
Okay. If you're saying what you're saying,
If I am.
while not in the presence of the silence, then is it a belief that is a machine? Is there, like when you say these things,
Yeah.
because I could say something
Yes, you
like
could.
that, and I have, but I
Okay.
was in the belief mode. I wasn't in the.
Maybe you were in,
So
a little of each.
You sound like the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland, is what you said.
So,
Hookah?
like if you're reporting on
Ooh.
something that
Oh.
happened in the past,
Yeah.
then it's a belief. But if it's happening now and you're
Right.
reporting on it, then it's.
But isn't that why some people can speak with such an amazing, inclusive, depth? And others, it sounds like they're sort of reading a script or something.
Maybe.
Because they're reporting,
Okay. Yeah.
But those that are not reporting, just speaking from the well,
Okay.
I mean, there's such a difference.
Makes sense.
Yeah, feel the well.
Mm.
Drop into the fucking well. Send the bucket back up. Stay in the well.
Tune in, turn on,
Drop out. Yeah.
And do drugs.
And
Wait,
do,
no.
and by all means, do drugs.
That goes without saying.
That goes- What? You want me to get through this shit without drugs? Are you fucking crazy? Oh, God. Each encounter with the revelation of your own intimacy, your own radioactivity, your own autonomy. Each encounter is, profoundly nourishing, profoundly instructive, profoundly creative. And then, you flip back into mind or the noise of self and fine. Okay. I mean, what can you do about yourself? Once you're in the noise, what can you do about yourself? Do no harm, keep a low profile, or harm everyone, and make a lot of noise about it. I don't know. But this really just cuts right through the noise of self without having to resolve or conclude or feel better about anything. You're just cutting through the entire engine, the machine of the noise of self. And you're like, oh, whew, fuck me. Glad I didn't have to work myself out. I don't have to work myself out. Pathetically neurotic in a million ways, right? Like anyone, like everyone. But you don't have to work yourself out. Let's say you go to the boiler room on a big cruise ship. You can't hear anything but the boiler. I mean, they wear headgear.
Yeah, it's loud.
It's just boiler. It's just, that's it. That's this. That's it. It's excruciating. It's intolerable.
Wakes you up in the morning.
Yeah, it can.
But at least that goes to gray. That goes to fuzz. It's when there's peaks here and there. That's what grabs your attention.
Contrast.
Yeah.
Contrast fuels attention. Yeah. Expressive attention. It's real interesting that, the eyes can remain open and obviously available to all that is seen or heard or felt. And still you're not seeing anything. You're not hearing anything. Nothing lures you into personhood. Nothing lures you into objects. And yet, here we are, object heaven. If you want a cup of tea, you can get a cup of tea, You have to make a phone call, you make a phone call. You have to call in sick and leave a message on the answering machine at work that says, take this job and shove it. I'm not working here no more. Well, you can do that too. This is not a remedy for the imagination of one's life. It's the cessation of the imagination of one's life. Always at hand. Yes. Question there.
Oh, no one.
You're writing a poem.
I'm having an experience.
Mhm.
Well, shall I tell you?
Yeah.
Well, as usual, it's going to be difficult. But caterpillar, 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 caterpillar. That's everything I do. It means as much as a fucking caterpillar right there. we got a caterpillar there. And then yesterday, caterpillar. And tomorrow, caterpillar. And then next week, caterpillar.
I used you as the caterpillar. Now
That's
it's
what I
really-
do with my life.
Where's the fungus?
Okay.
Where's the hookah?
Where's the fungus? That's how much meaning it all is. I'm sorry. Somebody asked me.
Yeah,
Caterpillar.
right.
Oh,
So there's a certain fascination, right? A fun fascination that accompanies, seeing the, let's say, the thinness of your continuity, of your relevance, of your durability, of your choices.
The value of all my hard work.
Yeah, that's right. The value of all your hard work. That's right. hmm
Caterpillar.
Caterpillar it is.
I did think of you for the rest of my life when I was little.
Oh, good.
There's not a butterfly in this whole story anywhere.
No, caterpillar and caterpillar fungus
A butterfly.
and a hookah.
Oh,
Hookah.
Gotta be a butterfly at the end of the story somewhere.
okay, I'll let you know.
So what'll happen,
I'll let you know.
Okay.
That's what I'm calling you.
Read my blog. There is a certain thrill of that there might be something to discover about yourself. There's not.
You're always getting worried. I'm like, I sucked up again. Okay, good. I agree.
Yeah,
Welcome to myth.
right.
Caterpillar.
Yeah. We think, is there a thing to discover? No, sorry, no, there's not.
No, there appears to be a shitload to discover, and none of it means anything.
Well, then that's the machine.
Mhm.
That's the machine.
But
That's
Constant ideation.
that's whipping up the frenzy of one's psychic disappointments and irritabilities, and then doing JYNs in all the way these religions have you do some kind of JYN. Everyone's trying to enroll you in what it is that you should do about the illusion of yourself. But if you lift even a dull pencil to do something about the illusion of yourself, what are you contributing to? The imagination that you can have some kind of quiescent revolution or revelation or outcome for you in the so-called future. And you can't, because you are of the nature of a presently appearing myth. And the myth of you didn't begin at conception or birth, or when at 2 years old you went, no. That's not when the myth of you began. You know when the myth of you begins? Here. 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 There is no genesis for the myth of yourself. It only occurs here. Whoa. You mean shouldn't I call my therapist about this? No. Or why not?
Or would you say it's constant reifying?
You're looking at the engine of the noise of self, which reification is a perfect, metaphor for. Yeah.
As we held these standards,
These truths to be self-evident.
a moment ago, we'll just take those and hold them again.
Yeah.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. I like that. Sounds like it could go somewhere.
You might go somewhere with it. Start a revolution or something. Who knows? Or refresh one. Yeah.
It's a story.
We know that.
This is a very good caterpillar story.
Oh, good.
Really good.
You're going to start a whole series of children's books.
So Emily got her transcript,
Mm-hmm.
and she flunked out of school one year from absences,
Yeah.
to which I spent
Mm-hmm.
almost $5,000 having her tutored
Right.
And I got the transcript and she flunked out a whole year and I'm like, oh my God, they didn't. It looked like they didn't apply the tutor work. I could be wrong, but
Right.
then I was like, cut to the quick.
Oh, of course.
I was a caterpillar.
Oh, yeah.
All that fucking work.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Right.
Anyway, that's my story.
Has it since resolved or no? It's still in limbo.
I went and looked at my emails. I'm trying to find the dates and work it out. It's possible that she flunked out. It's possible that I'm wrong. I can't quite figure it out yet,
Okay.
but I will continue. I've got emails from tutors.
Best of luck.
Well, I'll call them and they'll fix it.
Whatever happened to S's court date with that bus incident?
Oh, how did that work out? Oh, God, well, I think there was a fine. Yeah, fine, minor fine, like.
A minor fine,
$200,
no points.
right,
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
so.
Good.
He's okay, he's happy. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
He had a lawyer, so it did cost him.
Yeah, well, it's worth it.
Yeah.
This degree of erasure. There's nothing to resolve in the imagination of your life or your relationship with people that have been good, bad, indifferent, or terrible. I mean, this really wipes clean the present engine of the imagination of self. So you're not resolving all the shit that happened prior to now. You're not fixing any, anything in your future that might turn, ugly. You're just, you're not putting nuts in your jowls for when it gets cold again, like so many of us would like to say, well, I went and did this and I went and did that, and they gave me tools and resources and things to do and things to consider, and so I could try to mitigate some of my future suffering because now I think of things a different way. I mean, that's just, load up the wagon. Me and myself are heading out.
Oregon Trail.
Really. Load up the wagon, Missy. We're heading out.
Grab the caterpillars, put them in a bucket.
Put the caterpillars in a bucket.
Bring them in.
Don't
Tie the
grab
yak to
fungus.
the back of the wagon and let's go. When we get to the river, we can do some JYNs
If we have time.
if we have time. But the Cherokee are hot on our tail.
Is that John
You
Wayne?
have to be doing a lot of JYNs after being in a little wagon with someone all day.
Neutron bomb.
Sure was a sorry day when I saw I wasn't made of anything. Really?
What do we got? Oh, caterpillars.
This is
No, it was just outside.
intense. Oh, you took this?
Hundreds of them.
So you're just
Hundreds and
like a little
hundreds.
caterpillar.
It's probably a good night to take you to Applebee's and get
Yeah, we could. I should-
drinks and appetizers.
Managing to make-
Caterpillar salad.
If we take Pat to Applebee's, we get, and we buy, of course, a
You can't really drink beer to get.
half-price drink.
you want me to call and see who's managing?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if I can get my hands on a, whiskey sour and some nachos for
I got
like
a
half
free
price.
margarita today.
Free
when I got
margarita.
to work.
Oh, are you
Count
doing
me
this
in.
one? Right
Anything to dull my pain.
Yeah. I'm feeling a little shame. I think we should go out and get something to eat.
How to do that.
Emotional, physical, all of it.
Yeah.
But like 10 grapes aren't enough.
No.
Wow, you got pretty light shame. If grapes can satisfy you.
Done a lot of JYNs.
Yeah. She's pretty light on the shame if she can like mitigate it with some grapes. Yeah. No, we need like,
No,
mixed
yeah, we need
mixed
shots.
drinks and fried stuff.
Shots
I'm
and
really ashamed.
fried food.
I'm having emotions. Oh, I know. I'll get something to eat.
What an
Yeah.
inspiration.
Or drink.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there must be some kind of like soothing mechanism in the esophagus. Any questions? Did we miss anything? Did we leave any stone unturned?
I think we need.
It's one of those-
That's why
one of
humans
those
are
again.
So stupid.
What's too stupid?
Why people are so stupid.
It's a caterpillar thing.
Chimp thing.
It's a chimp thing.
Chimps are us.
They say get out of your head and get into your heart, stuff like that. Don't stop there.
Get all the way into your stomach.
Go to your stomach, then
Bowels,
keep going.
whole thing.
Yeah.
End up in the toilet and then flush.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you think you can actually, land in your heart, that's another machine. That's another idea.
First heart.
And that's not to put down, the miraculous, right? Empathy that's possible for a so-called human being to feel, and love and gratitude and ecstasy and, everything else. I mean, rock on. But this is destination free. This intimacy is not represented by an organ. It's truly transcendent and not dependent on, the vibratory vicissitudes of one's body.
I'm gonna go now. Make sure he doesn't leave. The guy who said we'd have it free. Do you mind?
No, I'm, if anyone else wants to
He's been
go,
in there all day and
I'm happy to, we've put this thing to bed. We can get out of here
You
and go
guys-
get
You can take your
a
time.
whiskey sour and
Yeah, I'm in.
a
If I see that
empanada.
awake.
Ooh. Is there money? Oh my God, look.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. And thanks for your questions. They really came in handy this evening.
Hi, baby.